think it's a mistake for
That's
black men,
true.
yeah, to do
But
that.
on their part, what's even more problematic is just their view, and this is indicative of what I would say with the manosphere. The problem is that guys like this and shows like this are all about trying to not just characterize like a Tommy Sotomayor would do. It's all about there's what I would call five types of men that I've known in my experience or that I see in my experience. And the first type of man is the man who thinks that he's the macho guy, the alpha, whatever, and he's always trying to dominate and control, right? What you see with shows like this is an idea that women need to be subjugated, that they need to be dominated, that they need to be brought under heel, and that's why, in some way, they whether this is openly stated or it is tacitly stated. It's all a matter of trying to get women brought back to some level of male domination and control.
Don't you think a part
And
of
and
that
I
is natural?
well before I get to that because I figured someone like you would bring that up.
I
Um,
just question.
the that is what these shows and these platforms, these not so much platforms, these live streams, these videos, these shows do. They have that type of guy or the guy who thinks he's that type of guy. You also have what I call a type two guy, which is somebody who attacks, belittles, downgrades, diminishes women. And this may vary. Some men do this as a means of testing women out to see, okay, how will they react? How if I can I get away with calling her every name in the book, right? Someone like Tommy is I would call a type two man, which is why he denigrates women and a specific class of women or a specific group of women. He denigrates them and strips them and reduces their strips their humanity and reduces them to this archetype, right? And so he's a type two guy. But what you see with shows like this, Fresh and Fit and so forth, are these guys who, again, want to exert control and dominance, right? Because when you look at them, these are not guys who have control and dominance. And what I mean by that is not just control and dominance over women, but also they're not really men who can get women. They're not really men in relationships that are either beneficial or productive or constructive for them with women. And to put it in sort of blunt terms, they're also not men who can really get women, which is why these guys created Fresh and Fit. Their idea is they will bring these women on the show and they will essentially hector and lecture them by, again, trying to exert dominance and control by saying, okay, this is what we think women should be, and this is how we think they should act. And this is what most importantly, this is what you're acting like, and this is what you're getting wrong. You are not. That's why they have those women on their show. It's convenient. So you can say, point out to them and say, this is what you are failing at. This is what you lack. And this is what you shouldn't be. So, because when someone like Brittany Renner came on, it was this DJ Academics guy and dealt with the Fresh and Fit, she asked them at one point a couple interesting questions. One was, you said that you warn guys against women like me. So how is that? How are you warning them against what am I? What kind of woman am I? And another question I thought she asked that was valid was emotionally when you put down women and when you say these things, what does that do for you emotionally?
Mm.
How does that help you? And again, I think it underlines what Ms. Renner said. I don't know. I gather she's a Ms. But Ms. Renner said, I think is indicative of the basic operating model, the modus operandi, the operating model of these shows of the manosphere, which is this need to control, to dominate, to subjugate, and to and at times with the rhetoric obfuscate when it comes to women. But it's this feeling of dominion. But also, like I said, with the type 1 male, that's a part of it, a great part of it. But also the type 2 male is also injurious speech, attacking women, trying to put them down, trying to, as Tommy Sotomayor does, strip them, reduce them, bring them to a certain point where they are just this archetype that you can talk about and not a fully embodied and a full three-dimensional human being.
Bro,
And
but do you
so,
understand that that goes both ways, bro? You understand that there are women who do that as well? It's not just men who have the type of qualities and characteristics that you're talking about, man. So, and I agree with what you're saying.
so
I
you're
agree.
saying that women act like the manosphere? Is that what you're saying?
No, no, no. I'm not saying that women are acting like the manosphere. I'm saying that there
Then
are
how does
women
it go
who,
both ways? You
what I'm
just said it
saying is
went
that,
both the ways. How does it
right,
go both ways?
that
How does that?
there are women out there who basically do the exact same things that you're describing about, like the things that the type 2 man, right? The abusive type of individual. There are women, there are female platforms that do the exact same thing to men. Okay? So
What
that's go ahead.
what platforms? Can you name them?
I mean, you want me to name
It's a fair question.
platforms? One of them, I think of Cynthia G. I can't help but think of Cynthia G. That's just point blank. Period.
Mm,
But she uses real data and like proof into her videos. Like her videos are like on things that are actually happening with black men though, and she's explaining it
Right.
and
So
exposing some truths to it.
right. And I hear what you're saying, right? But it again, it's the narrative. It's the way that she spins the information that to me, and I think to any person, let me just to be frank and plain with you. This woman literally said, literally, that black women, if you're pregnant by a black male, that you should go and get the gender of this embryo checked, and if it's a male, you should abort it. This is literally what she said. So yes, she does sometimes use data and different things like this, but all people, if you think about it, everyone who has ever
If we're gonna go there, I
everyone who
can.
has ever
mm,
vilified a group of people has
No,
used some level of data to try to validate their position of hatred. This is not a new play.
So is the data not true?
It's not about the data. It's about the humanization of people. I'm not saying that the
you.
data is wrong.
actually, my point
But the
was the
data measures people's
dehumanization
actual
of women.
actions.
That was the point
Right.
of Tommy Sotomayor, is the dehumanization of women and
Correct.
other platforms. But that's what he
You're
does.
comparing
And to
apples
your
to
point about
oranges.
and your point about Cynthia G. Cynthia G is not the female version of Tommy Sotomayor. She's not. I mean, if she was,
I didn't say she
then
was.
you could make, yeah, but you said it goes both ways. And when an example was
I
cited, you said Cynthia
right.
G, but Cynthia G is different than Tommy Sotomayor in how she deals with men.
Exactly.
So
Apples and
my point
oranges.
is,
Tommy
yeah,
Tommy calls
my
them out. Tommy calls them one thing. Cynthia calls them something else. I mean, you're saying that it's different.
yeah, but
It's not that different. It's really
it's
not.
not the same though. Yeah, but it's not the
Of course,
same.
it's
My
not. It's
point
not.
is
Okay.
Tommy reduces, he strips, he completely removes the humanity from the women that he talks about and reduces them to this object, this item, this archetype, even at
The,
her worst. And I'm not a fan of Cynthia G. Even at her worst, Cynthia G doesn't do that with men, more
That's
specifically
completely,
black men. She does
totally
not
incorrect.
do that. No,
Totally
she does
wrong.
not do that. She doesn't
I
do the
have
same thing that Tommy does.
Okay,
She
let's be
doesn't.
honest.
I'm sorry.
Okay, so okay, so